allez la Suisse, allez la Suisse, allez, allez.
Belarus! Belarus!
Comment tu fais ça? Montre-moi, allez, ouais, ça c'est pour moi. Allez, wouh! Oh, j'adore!
Génial. Et puis, sachez-le, il viendra s'asseoir sur vous et ça, c'est pas le meilleur moment de l'après-midi.
N'hésitez pas à prendre des photos, des selfies avec un ceremonies qui va être dans les gradins toute la journée. Ils sont là pour vous. Vous ambiancez, vous nous aidez à ambiancer aussi tout cet après-midi. Don't forget to take pictures and selfies with the two mascots. They are there for you and for you.
Bien sûr, ils sont là aussi pour nous. Absolument, ils sont là aussi. Et Astérix, mesdames et messieurs, on peut applaudir Astérix qui vient de saluer devant, bravo. Et Astérix, il nous fait un fait la hola tout à l'heure, hier, il nous a fait le hola. Tu peux nous faire ça? Est-ce que tu peux nous faire comme ça? Tranquille.
Les invités de cette rencontre sont licenciés désignés par la Fédération internationale de hockey sur glace. The game official for this game. Les invités sont Sormonen et Souchanet. La composition de départ de l'équipe de Biélorussie, the starting line-up for Belarus. Le numéro 35, le certified line-up, le numéro 14, 14, Lizovets. Le numéro 89, Karabov. Le numéro 10, Stefanovic. Le numéro 74, 74, Kosicin. Le numéro 46, 46, Kosicin. La composition de départ de l'équipe de Suisse, the starting line-up for Switzerland. Le numéro 63, 63, Germany. Le numéro 54, 54, Führer, le numéro 16, 16, Gaz, le numéro 19, 19, Chapi, le numéro 89, 89, Allemande, et le numéro 9, 9, Ruffernard.
Allez, à 50 secondes, le coup d'envoi de ce match qui s'appelle for the beginning of this game. You all in the arena, make some
Leonardo Giannoni has become the man in goal for Switzerland, coming off a loss last night to France. They blew a couple of leads in that game, and they'll take on Belarus, which has been problematic for them over the years at the World Championship. Even at the Olympics, both Swiss wins at the Olympic Games have been by one goal, one in a shootout. And Kevin Lalande is back in goal for Belarus. He's been yanked his last start against the Czech Republic, allowed 5 goals on 36 shots there. Patrick Fisher against Dave Lewis, and you see the red and green ribbon on Dave Lewis's lapel. May the 9th is the day in which the end of World War II in Europe is celebrated in Russia and the former Soviet republics.
Andre Kostitsyn back in the lineup. He is the most dangerous forward on Belarus. He missed the last game after getting smoked against the Czechs a couple of games ago. Radim Šimek hit him at the blue line. He flipped up and landed on his neck and shoulder, but he's back in today, and Belarus will look for their first win of the tournament against the Swiss, who kicked away a game yesterday against the French.
Yeah, they lost their opener to Belarus, 3-2 to Finland, down 2-0 in that game, came back to tie it in the third, lost late on a power play goal, then beaten handily 6-1 by the Czechs and 6-0 by Canada. But as we mentioned before, Ray, they opened the tournament, Finland, Czechs, Canada. So the points for them that are available start now. Point shot goes high and wide. Off the stick of Ilya Zienkiewicz. And Alexander Pavlovich has it. Dennis Hollenstein. Took a bump there from Pavlovich, plays it down in the Belarus zone, and Lalande is out to play it. Kevin Lalande, a native of Kingston, Ontario. And now played across, in comes Zienkiewicz with a chance, shoots! And Giannoni makes the save. Leonardo Giannoni led the Swiss League in save percentages here for the third time in his career. That SC burned to a second consecutive Swiss title. So Jonas Hiller got the start in the opener against Slovenia, allowed 4 goals on 23 shots.
And didn't look particularly solid doing it. And so now he is watching on the Swiss bench as Giannoni makes his 3rd straight start.
Now a centering pass, and that's knocked down by Damien Brunner. Brunner, rink wide, the pass missed, Roman Löffel. And a battle for it behind the goal. Swiss were 11th last year, their worst finish since 1995 at the World Championship. A high water mark for them, 2013 in Sweden. They started 9-0. Lost the gold medal game to the Swedes. You see Andrei Kostitsyn back for Belarus.
When you're a smaller country and you miss one of your best players, it takes a huge chunk out of your lineup. So the Belarusians miss Kostitsyn and his offense a great deal, and you look at the Swiss team, and you can't replace a Roman Josi. Well, most people can't replace Roman Josi. The Swiss sure can't either. No problem with the clock. They're running some time off it.
I wonder how far they'll go here. First. I wonder how far they'll go here. First.
Lewis just gave that signal there that they're going to use a stopwatch, and until they get this sorted out, they're going to clock this by hand. Remember that game we did in Toronto this year where the clock didn't work for the whole period? Yeah, and it was like a
momentum game that had no clock. Nobody knew how much time was left. Nobody knew what was left on the power play.
And the off-ice officials had to stay until after 2 a.m. Watch the broadcast over.
Well, that was lucky for them. They got to listen.
He got the sound off, and to count the time on ice. In comes Malgin. Dennis Malgin plays it across. Rafael Diaz in shoots, and the save is made by Kevin Lalande.
Dennis Malgin has had very little impact in the first couple of games. The 20-year-old made the Florida Panthers out of training camp, and he's able to squirm his way in the offensive zone to find Rafael Diaz. Diaz can really shoot the puck. Remember him from over 200 NHL games.
Yeah.
Vancouver, New York Rangers, among others.
Montreal, Calgary. 5 NHL seasons total for Diaz. Now flipped down to the Belarus zone. Lalande plays it around, picked off by Cody Allman, the Calgary native, who now plays for Switzerland. To Thomas Ruffinack. Ruffinack was involved in on the receiving end, one of the ugly incidents in this tournament. Ziga Jeglic of Slovenia kicked him, and not in the foot. Got a skate up around his neck.
I can't believe Jeglic only got 2 games for them. That was a brutal play. He was changing, and his foot was up on the side of the boards, and he pushed his skate against his neck. It was crazy to watch.
So the time you're seeing here is correct, 16:52 to go. The clock, however, is running at 14:40, so the clock is not fixed. Korobov plays it around, Giannone out to play it. And scooped up quickly by Switzerland. Gaetan Haas plays for Hollenstein, and that shot taken there by Genanzi is knocked away by Lalande. Sergei Drozd. A forecheck there by Hollenstein. And Hollenstein gathers up the loose puck, walks out, throws it towards the goal, poke check away, still loose in front. Hollenstein undershot. Lalande is down. Hollenstein centers it, and it's knocked away by Drozd. Now a point shot by Furr. Stopped by Lalande. Little pass in front for Haas. Couldn't contain it. And now Belarus counterattacks. Kogolev fires that in, and Giannone knocks it up over the glass.
Dennis Hollenstein had a couple assists in the game yesterday against France. He stays on the forecheck, kind of waves his stick, and then knocks the puck off of Sergei Drozd's stick. A couple times he gets to the loose puck again and forces the land with a save. And then he works the puck into the crease where it's knocked away, but Hollenstein stays on the puck and stays stronger on his stick than Kogolev and ends up with a good scoring chance.
Diaz throws that ahead, knocked out by Brunner. And he finds Bodenman. Simone Bodenman, who also plays for Bern in the Swiss League. They won their second consecutive national championship in Switzerland. Ambul plays it in for Diaz. Bank back to the point, Ambul. Lays that down to Brunner, who spins back. Brunner had the shootout winner in Switzerland's win over Slovenia. They blew a 4-0 lead in that game, led 4-0 in the first period. Slovenia came back to tie the game at 4. The Swiss finally won in a shootout. Had they lost that game, it would have equaled the largest lead ever blown in an IIHF competition.
Well, the Swiss just virtually handed that away. They gave up a couple of power play goals and gave up a shorthanded goal against as well in there, and they just allowed the game to get away from them.
Brock Nelson has scored for Team USA, an early 1-0 lead on Italy in Cologne, Germany. Now Elizabeth plays it up for Belarus. Finds Demkov, in shoots, and the save is made by Giannone. And now set down the ice, a race for it there. In their first for Switzerland is Pio Suter, centers it. Now picked up by Artem Demkov. Demkov slides that back. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Switzerland. No score here in the first period. No surprise, the Swiss have been involved in shootouts in overtime. The last 2 World Championships, this and last, 6 times have gone past regulation. Now played across, and the shot right on, turned away by Giannone. That shot was taken by Drozd. Sergei Drozd now loose behind the goal. Drozd gets bumped there by Loeffel. And Allman chips it ahead, but it's knocked down by Vorobey. Pavel Vorobey is in the Belarus lineup after Vladimir Denisov got hurt early for them. One of their top defensemen. Denisov hasn't played the last couple of games for Belarus. Now the shoot-in from Vorobey breaks his stick. Ivanovic centers a quick chance in front for Sergei Kostitsyn, and the shot was blocked.
One thing we've noticed here in this tournament is when teams that don't have a lot of depth play on back-to-back nights, it's a bit of a challenge for them.
Brought in now, and Diaz, a shot that was blocked.
And the Swiss have given up a couple of man advantage, dangerous chances already here. Of course, they played the late game last night and the early one here today.
Boy, the Swiss bobbling points against lesser opponents. They left a point on the table against Slovenia because overtime and shootout wins were 2 points, not 3, and then they lose to France in the shootout, so gain just 1.
France sitting with 5 points already.
Yeah. Walking now is Brunner. Damien Brunner with it. And of course, the French hold the tiebreaker right now over Switzerland. In a three-way tie, that could change, but penalty coming now to Belarus. The cross-checking call. Here's Ambiol with it. Is it for Bodenman? And the penalty will go against Dmitry Korobov as Switzerland gets the game's first power play. 12:14 to go here in the first period.
Mesdames, Messieurs, le temps de jeu est correct au chronomètre électrique. Ladies and gentlemen, the time on the game clock is correct.
Allez, les joueurs, on voit qu'ils font un petit moment où on reste un petit moment amour et câlin. Et on va partir avec la petite cam, elle va partir un petit peu partout. Ça, on va attendre jusqu'à les coéquipiers. Et ça, c'est où est
Oh là là, mais dis donc, quelle chance que avec nous ici. Moi, je suis avec mes amis suisses. Je suis avec mes amis suisses.
So Switzerland on the power play, whether or not that's a good thing is a matter of interpretation.
Well, they're even on it. They've got 2 power play goals. Giving up 2 shorthanded goals.
You'd like your power play to do better than break even, wouldn't you?
I would think you would.
I'm no coach, but I'd instruct the boys,
They're going to get some chances, I'm going to venture, against Belarus. They've been shorthanded 13 times in 3 games. Belarus has always seemed to be a team that takes a lot of penalties, but a couple of shorthanded goals against, 1 in the first game, 1 in the third games. Obviously a problem spot for them.
But you know, Ray, we talked about Belarus with a tough schedule early. Switzerland has the inverse schedule. Their easier games were early. Their tough games still to come. They got Canada, Finland, and the Czechs as their last 3 games.
So you better have some points in the bag by the time you get there.
Burner plays it across. Hohenstein, a shot that was blocked. Loose puck in front. They jam away at it. And Vincent Praplin with a chance there. And now a crease violation called against the Swiss. And the face-off will come outside.
That's an easy violation to call as Praplin knocked the net off its hinge. Good shot from Hohenstein, and oh, there it is there as Malgin ends up on top of the goaltender. He gets bumped in from behind. Oh. See, there's, I guess, the negative part of the rule, Gord, is that Malgin's there standing outside the crease. He's looking for the rebound, and he gets knocked into the crease from behind.
So by rule, the official's supposed to give him time to get out.
I think he was a little trigger happy there.
If he doesn't feel he get out, if he doesn't feel he makes an immediate attempt to get out, then he blows the whistle. So in that case,
I don't know how he could have got out any quicker. But I still say I like this rule much better and more than the nonsense we're seeing and the guesswork in our game back home.
Kerr walks in, kicked away by Lalande, and more than out, and almost a chance shorthanded there for conversion.
It almost looks like these guys have never been on the power play together. As Malgin and Furr run together and almost give up a shorthanded breakaway.
Gaetan Haas brings it in, plays for H.C. Beal in the Swiss League. He's been with that program since the age of 14. Who'd you play your Bantam hockey for?
Trail.
I've had an NHL team. Spent your whole time with it.
Minko Arena is a beautiful place, Gord.
It is.
Sure. A little snug for an NHL rink. 3,000 seats, but
Furr plays it across. Well, creates demand, Ray.
Yes, it does.
And now Conversion picks it up, buys some time, and slides it down. 40 seconds to go in the Swiss power play.
Belarus giving up a power play goal in each of the 3 games. Again, 13 times they've been shorthanded already in the tournament.
Brunner plays it across to Ambiol. Andres Ambiol. Back for Diaz. Rafael Diaz drops it off for Ambiol. Works in, has room, shoots the land, save, rebound, loose in front. And Allman couldn't connect on that. Ambiol to Diaz, across he goes. Brunner, a hard shot. Lalande makes a good save there. Suter. In the final seconds now on the power play, Diaz to Brunstrom, tees it up again, and Lalande got another piece of that. Ambiol feeds down to Allman. Cody Allman works it back on. Todorov comes back on as the save is made by Lalande. 3 shots on goal for Switzerland on that power play.
A couple chances where Brunner's going to shoot the one-timer, but maybe their most dangerous chance is Ambiol's quick shot gets into the pad of Lalande. He doesn't know where it is. He thinks it's underneath him. It's not. It's spun out to the left. But Ambuel has goals in 2 of the 3 games. We talked about him at the open of the show here. Played 94. This is his 95th game here at the World Championships in his career.
Number 2 all-time on their list. And only a handful of players have played more World Championships than him. 16 is the all-time record. As that shot from Ganassi goes up and over the glass. The record for most World Championship games played, or World Championships played, is Matthias Seeger of Switzerland. He played in 16. Terje Nummelen of Finland played in 15. So Ambuel moves into a tie for third
played
place.
in 15?
Yeah.
He was a good player.
He was a very good player. He's a great. If he'd come along 10 years later,
yes,
he'd have been a great National Hockey League defenseman. By the time he got to the NHL, he was on his last legs. But they were still pretty good, but
also in a different style game than today.
Yeah. Icing call against Belarus. 9.5 to go in the period. And there is Charles Linglet. Had a chance to talk to him the other day. Linglet, a native of Montreal, played in Baie-Comeau in the Quebec League. Linglet was saying he loves playing in the World Championship. Really does enjoy it, but the losing can get hard.
And Dave Lewis mentioned to us prior to the tournament and then after one of their games that there's got to be a little bit better way to do it. They've got to build a little bit more skill into their game, because otherwise you don't have any chance in a lot of these games. I watch the way Belarus plays, and while they don't have the depth, and it seems most of the time they play to not get scored on. They rarely are up the ice to attack.
Now a centering pass for Linglet, knocked away. One of the issues for Belarusian players, a lot of them play in the KHL, but they're supplementary players. Their top guys are 3rd and 4th line players on KHL teams. Don't get power play time, aren't counted upon.
Never get the puck.
Right.
And your role is to not be a risky player. So whatever you have in your game, it gets totally carved in half.
Pass too far for Linglet. And Papelan lifts that up for the Swiss. Linglet, rink wide for Andre Kostitsin, working in, drops it back. Sergei back for Andre, tipped away by Diaz. Andre Kostitsin may have left some teams wanting in the NHL, but he was a pretty good player in his 7 seasons. He scored 20 goals 3 times.
He was a good player. He was probably able to do more on a consistent basis than he performed with. A lot of talent, strong.
And now a penalty coming to the Swiss. A hooking call will go against Simon Bodenman, and so Belarus gets a power play with 8 to go here in the first period. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Paris.
Écoutez bien cette musique, on la met tout à l'heure avant la deuxième période et on va devoir demander à tout le monde de danser avec nous.
Allez, on va vous demander maintenant que vous levez tout le monde. Allez, mesdames et messieurs, on voudrait que ça bouge un peu, on a quelques secondes, on entend tout le monde.
Dave Lewis spent 15 years in the National Hockey League as a player, was then an assistant coach for a long time, a head coach for 3 years for Detroit and Boston. Won the Stanley Cup on the side of Scotty Bowman. And had the unfortunate task of replacing Bowman as the head coach in Detroit.
You want to be the guy that replaces the guy.
That was Mike Babcock.
That worked out pretty well, didn't it? It's so difficult to come after Scotty, and not just because of his success, but also because of what he projected and what he is behind the bench of an NHL team. Just really, really difficult to try and put your mark on it.
Artem Demkov plays it around with this Belarusian power play, which is 0 for 8 in the tournament so far. Ray Ferrar would like to go down and make some changes to the Belarus power play. Some suggestions. Kulikov.
In 3 passes, they should shoot it, because they're going to keep passing it around the outside here.
In comes Sergei Kostitsyn, drops it across to Andre, and shoots. He fired it wide out the other side. Sergei couldn't contain that bouncing puck. And now sent down the ice by Haas.
I believe it's probably a lack of confidence in their shot, that they feel that they could generate a rebound off a shot. They're looking for something perfect, and my goodness, the thing just goes around the outside like a top, and they never get it towards the net.
You can always, I feel, tell the NHL players they shoot the puck way more in the power play. Center pass knocked away as biggest stick on that was Philippe Fur.
If you don't shoot it, the penalty killers don't move. They can stay in the way that they want to be in their own structure. Once the puck starts bouncing around, then they've got to react a little bit.
Conversion. Drops it off. Stefanovic takes the return pass from Stas. Back to Stas. To Conversion. Lizavets. Across it goes. Conversion works in. Centers it. Bouncing puck. Stas can't find it. Still loose. Fur plays the line, but not out. Lizavet's shot was blocked. Across it goes. Conversion. Centers it. Stefanovic shot blocked. Bodeman steps back on. No shots on goal for Belarus in that power play. Some attempts, however. Rufinek sends it back in front. Bodeman, a backhand shot. Stopped by Lalonde. And Rufinek feeds it back at the point. Held neatly there by Ganatzi.
They had 2 shot attempts before that last little flurry when the player was coming out of the penalty box, and it's just not enough.
Well, Bruner gets spun around. That'll be a penalty against Danila Karaban of Belarus, and so the Swiss are going back on the man advantage.
So a wasted opportunity where you don't generate any energy at the very least on, and then you take a penalty right after it. Karaban with the hooking penalty. He's one of the younger players that Dave Lewis was telling us about. He's just 20 years old, and he said we have to break a little bit of the entitlement to get some of these younger players into the group, and Karaban would be one of them. The fact he's in the lineup is a real positive for him.
Yeah, Igor Sharangovich scored in their game against Finland. He's an 18-year-old. So now the Swiss back on the power play. Malgin drops it off to Hollenstein to Fur. Plays it across, the centering pass from Praplan, bounces back. Hollenstein, a shot. That's blocked. The rebound cleared away by Droz. 5 to go here in the opening period. Still no score. And Dennis Malgin of the Florida Panthers brings it in. Malgin feeds it back. Fur walks in, waits, shoots. Lalonde makes the save. Rebound. Malgin battling for it. And now Fur holds the puck at the line. Swings it across to Hollenstein. Fed back by Malgin. Fur, a shot, the line save. Rebound, loose in front. And Malgin's backhand shot is blocked. Fur back with it. Haas trying to stand in front. In comes Fur. Feeds it across to Malgin. Walks in, waits. Down to the goal line he goes. Praplan centers it. That's poked away by Yavenko. Now Fur feeds across. Hollenstein a drive, and the line got just a piece of that. Lots of shots on this power play. Fur shoots again. That deflects wide. And another penalty coming to Belarus. Fur plays it across. Hollenstein fires. That's blocked by Yavenko.
Hollenstein thought the puck or the penalty was against the Swiss. He was complaining, and the pass came right to him, so he couldn't shoot it.
So now a 5-on-3 coming for Switzerland.
3 penalties already in the first period as Grabarenko is going to go. for a trip as he clips the feet of Haas in the corner. And he doesn't like it either. Dave Lewis doesn't like it. But this will be the 19th power play of the tournament for the Swiss. 4 more than anyone else. You see the rebound, and Dennis Malgin probably can have a little more patience. That's when a guy's confident or not confident. As he flip the backhand quickly, he can take that one more stride around the pack of players right in front of the land.
Has Malgin left you a little wanting here?
Or a lot.
Okay.
I think even at 20 years old, he's got the skill to be more assertive with the play. He seems to settle a little bit on the outside here and doesn't really get into a position to use a really high skill set.
In comes Diaz with it, plays it across to Ambul. 5-on-3 for just under 20 seconds. Diaz works it down. Shooter, Diaz, Ambul. Brunner on the goal line, feeds it back to Ambul. In, shoots, that was blocked and cleared away, and a great defensive play there by Dmitry Korobov. Korobov, a former member of the Tampa Bay Lightning organization, actually won a Calder Cup with them, their American League team in Norfolk. And now sent down the ice. The first penalty's over. Switzerland remains in the power play. Diaz up for Ambul. Stepped around Demkov. Allman centers it, picked off, and backhanded down the ice by Drozd. The list of things that Ray Ferraro hates. Long lineups.
Do not like them. There's got to be a way to be more efficient.
Bad shots.
Great sticks now. You shouldn't have a bad shot.
And lousy power play.
Staggering. I mean, to not even generate a chance is hard to watch. You have 5 people. They get so spread out on the big ice, they have no puck support. So the penalty killers have just let the Swiss hang out on the outside. There's no danger. They'll let them do this all day.
Rufanak drops it off to Bodenman. Right across on a hard set. Untercenter, rebound, score! Tapped home in front of them, and Cody Allman might have got a piece of that. And Rito Shappy there as well. Going to be Shappy's goal. And the Swiss have taken a 1-0 lead on a power play goal.
Gee, Gord, what happens here? They get control of the puck and they're going to shoot it. They've got traffic in front of the net. Lalande makes the save, but Shappy pushes off Christian Kenkel. Kenkel's another one of these young players. You see his stick's up in the air. If that stick is down on the ice when he's battling for position, Shappy's not going to get to the loose puck. But Shappy out-battles him for it and shoves it past Kevin Lalande into the empty net. Belarus's power play, or Belarus's penalty troubles, come back to bite them here.
So Shappy gets his second of the tournament. Plays for Zurich in the Swiss League. And gives his team a 1-0 lead. And Dave Lewis has talked about the penalties that Belarus has taken. As Hollenstein works in. Hollenstein centers it, and Lalande makes the stop.
Ganazzi puts his pass right onto the stick of Untersander, who has got 3 assists in the tournament. It's a really good shot that Lalande can't handle. And there's Shappy, as we mentioned, in front of the net, getting inside position and pushing off the defenseman, Kenkel, and is able to pick up a loose puck and shoot it right into the middle of the net.
So the Swiss power play is above water. 3 goals for, 2 against.
There's still time. They're going to get more chances.
Well, and they're going to face tougher competition. They got Canada on Saturday.
The danger for them would be that they get so tentative about giving up shorthanded goals that their power play becomes so static. They don't generate anything. You know that Canada's going to be able to attack at a certain time when they're shorthanded.
Stas back for it. Plays it around for Lingland. Back to Andre Stas. Shots are 12-4 in favor of the Swiss. Belarus won the last meeting in 2014 at the World Championship. in Minsk. Now Linglet works in. His long shot deflector just wide. Janoni didn't see that till the last moment. Doss kept it alive. In the final minute now of the period as Andre Kostitsin goes back. Kostitsin, the 10th overall pick of the 2003 National Hockey League draft, one of the best drafts in NHL history.
A couple of those players are playing in Game 7 tonight.
Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury was at the top of that list.
Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf will be trying to push Anaheim over the finish line. Another Game 7 at home.
Ryan Kessler was in that draft. Jack Parisi, Mike Richards, Jeff Carter.
They're not playing tonight.
They're not.
How about that? 5 times, the last 5 times that Anaheim's had a lead in a series 3-2. They lose Game 6, and now they got to go back and play Game 7
at home. At home.
If Edmonton can get the first one tonight, can you imagine what that's going to feel like in there? Here we go again.
I wonder if Anaheim will fire Bruce Boudreau again if they lose.
They will.
Just to make sure. Sorry, Bruce. There's Bruce sitting at home, minding his own business. Got sideswiped from Paris. It becomes a thing, though. I mean,
it shouldn't. Because the team changes every year.
Different players, but tell the Washington Capitals about how playoff history doesn't matter. That's all they hear about.
They can change theirs too.
Pavlovich taken down. The puck squirts loose in front. And now Allman has it back. Cody Allman out to center ice. Knocked down by Hollenstein. Works in. Hollenstein still with it. Dribbles down the goal line. Hollenstein has it back and rolled that right through the crease as time expired. Rito Shapi, a power play goal, has taken Switzerland to a 1-0 lead over Belarus after one period of the 2017 World Hockey Championship.
Les statistiques s'affichent, vous voyez avec donc ce premier but de la Suisse, les tirs également qui sont en faveur de l'équipe helvète, les face-offs également et les pénalités pour la Belarus 6-2.
Une seule solution pour tout jointer, tout coller, pour tout matériau et toutes conditions. Patex One for All, le plus Introducing the 2017 IIHF app. Player statistics. Team statistics. Live updates. And introducing hockey cards. Your face, your team, your card. Share it with hockey fans across the world. From any smart device, in your own language. The 2017 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play. Skoda, simply clever.
Men need a real man's cream to prepare themselves. Nivea Men Cream, super fast absorbing and non-greasy. Men, this is your cream. Nivea Men. It starts with you.
Voilà, s'il y a des choses qu'il ne faut pas manquer d'acheter, c'est ce programme officiel qu'on vous propose et qui est disponible bien sûr au sein de cette arena pour tout découvrir, redécouvrir aussi les CZ et puis connaître notamment les programmes des matchs comme celui qui se déroule actuellement en Allemagne où cette fois-ci le score est de 1-0 pour les États-Unis face à l'Italie, si je ne me trompe pas.
Absolument.
C'est absolument ça.
Les États-Unis qui mènent. You can buy the official program and all the official merchandising shops all around the arena with all the silver years, what happened, what is about to happen with the calendar, you guys, as well as all the little athletes, the leagues, and the jerseys, the stars, the caps, everything you can go back with it at home. Et c'est, écoute, avec Jean, il y a un petit peu d'histoire, et c'est quand on intéresse plus ce qui s'est passé ces 100 dernières années dans le hockey. Did you know the basic sound of those things? Everything about hockey. You want to know more? Now, let's check it out.
Le saviez-vous? Regardez. Des informations par exemple sur ces 4 anciens joueurs de l'équipe de France, notamment Philippe Ozon, qui est une figure emblématique de ce sport. Tous les 4 ont une particularité. Laquelle? Vous l'idée ou pas? Regardez, c'est d'avoir été sacré champion d'Allemagne de hockey sur glace, les 3 premiers avec le club de Mannheim et le 4e avec le club de Krefeld.
And switch to English now. Did you know? Did you know? And I think we're going to get more interest about France. No, it was during 1961, the world hosted by Switzerland, held jointly in Geneva and Lausanne, those two cities in Switzerland. The 3 separate groups, A, B, and C, were created. The innovation meant that a greater number of countries could compete, including some nations such as France, that were back after an absence, and South Africa.
Allez, petit dernier pour le plaisir.
Oh, j'ai pas fini. We should also note that the last time the game was played in Cardiff outdoors on the frozen swimming pool of Lausanne Pacific has been transformed into an ice rink for the occasion.
Ah oui, en plus, cette transformation, c'est dommage de le faire. Non, mais je suis impatient de faire découvrir celle-ci comme la qualification de ceux qui sont avec moi aujourd'hui. Est-ce que vous savez que la Fédération internationale décida d'organiser en 1957 pour la première fois les championnats du monde? C'était à l'époque, ça s'appelait comme ça, l'URSS. Ce fut donc la reconnaissance du hockey soviétique qui avait remporté son premier titre olympique l'année précédente à Cornell en Italie. Toutefois, si le Canada, ni le Canada ni les États-Unis ne furent présents pour des problèmes politiques, du coup, l'URSS était unanimement considérée comme la grande favorite hors de peur de Moscou. Contre toute attente, c'est la Suède qui fait couronner. Pourquoi?
On en apprend quand même pas mal de choses, en tout cas cet après-midi. Si vous êtes là plus tard pour le match de ce soir à 20h15, vous avez votre ticket, vous devez vous rendre porte C. Voilà, absolument, le C, porte C. Door number C, door letter C, if you have a ticket for tonight's game. Tu peux prendre la fiche ça?
On va la découvrir en plus, quoi qu'il arrive, mais je suis sûr que tu vas de ce pas nous la préciser, parce que si jamais vous êtes bien nous.
C'est Finlande, Slovénie, ça, voilà, ça va te revenir. Donc Finlande, Slovénie ce soir 20h15, venez tôt, les portes ouvrent 1 heure avant. Donc à 19h15, on vous attend. Be there early, we open the doors 1 hour before if you're here for the match Finland against Slovenia. And I think we already have a few fans here in the arena. Come back, Eric, on va danser un petit peu.
C'est pour ça, en fait, dans le niveau caché, j'étais dans notre DJ, je vous dirais plus, voilà. Là, on sent qu'on est prêt à ce que ça s'enflamme aujourd'hui. Et pareil, on va être un truc, une balle, on est en milieu, une bonne de musique qui déchire. Et tout au centre, on va faire la fête, on va bouger, on va swinguer, bref, on va vivre.
L'après-midi, ensemble, mercredi après-midi, c'est le jeu des enfants. Alors les enfants, vous êtes prêts dans ce match? DJ, on y va avec la dance cam? Alors, c'est parti. On va jouer avec la dance cam, on va commencer ce moment-là. C'est bon? C'est bon, DJ.
Allez, musique.
Allez, go. Pousse les voix dans l'arena, DJ.
Alors la caméra, voilà, c'est génial.
Back on the ice, it's Belarus. Oh, make some noise, you guys. Less than 40 seconds to go for the second period. 1-0 for Switzerland. Okay, you guys, Mexico is ready. After 2, that is the time for another week.
Back here in Paris in the World Hockey Championship. On this Wednesday afternoon, Kevin Milan faced 12 shots in that first period. Beaten by Rado Champi on the power play. So Dave Lewis and Belarus looking for their first points in this World Championship. Do emerge, Ray, you'd have to say, fortunate to be down only 1-0 after one.
They are. Their penalty problems put them on their back foot again. Milan made a couple of stops that were difficult ones, although there's rebounds around there that the Swiss could have easily taken advantage of. And so the Swiss play from in front, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing. They've had a couple of bobbles while being out in front of the game so far. See if they stay aggressive or if they just try to back up again.
Blue 2-1 and 3-2 leads against France. Went up in a shootout, which they lost last night. But of course, most famously, a 4-0 game against Slovenia on the opening day. Wound up 3 goals against from Slovenia in the third period, a shootout, which the Swiss managed to pull out.
Talked a lot about Andrei Kostitsyn. There's his brother Sergei, who ended up his NHL career with 353 NHL games. More of a two-way player, I guess you would say, than Andrei, Andrei had some high-level finishing ability. Sergei not quite as much.
Kostitsyn played in London in the OHL in 06-07 on a line with Patrick Kane and Sam Gagner. They scored 137 goals between the three of them. Kane had 62.
Oh, look out.
Wow, that was hot into the Swiss bench. But Kostitsyn scored 40 that year in London. Dale Hunter said their power play, and he said, I say this with all due respect to the competition, was virtually unstoppable. Saw Tommy Alberline there behind the Swiss bench, had to be quick. Tommy blocked a lot of shots in his day in the NHL, but not while wearing a suit.
No, that's not recommended.
You've been hit a couple times through the benches, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't like it. I like my spot. I don't like getting hit down there. Get hit with a stick, get hit with an errant puck every once in a while. Like, fortunately, just flippers so far.
Lenglet drops it back, picked off by Gaetan Haas, who slides out ahead for Vincent Praplan.
I would say wearing a suit is no place for courage down there.
Stas up for Demkov, that's picked off. And there's Untersander, who plays for Bern. We mentioned Bern won the Swiss League title for the second straight year. Mark Arcabella was the leading scorer in the Swiss League this year. Former National Hockey League player.
He had a crazy year a couple of years ago. He had 17 goals and played for 4 different teams. If you're playing for 4 teams, usually you don't have any goals. I think he had 7 or 8, and then he got put on waivers, or he got traded, I think, first. And then
Edmonton, Pittsburgh, Arizona.
Is he in Nashville as well, I believe?
I think so, yeah. That puck over the glass. But there's lots of players, Ray, who have made their way to Switzerland, Germany. They've made a great career for themselves.
Well, the guys that have a good career there realize when they get there, they've got to work, that they've got to play.
Right.
If they think they're going over for a vacation, the guys they're playing against don't look at it that way. And they're the ones that generally play a short period of time and then are done in Europe.
Bodeman had his pocket picked there. Now Alexander Kogolev brings it in. Kogolev is taken right back by Bodeman. Leffel. Great wide pass, and once again.
Okay, what was the team? Who had 4 pucks?
Belarus.
Was it Belarus?
Yeah.
4 in the first 7 or 8 minutes of that first period. Look at this guy. Hey, can I have that? No, you, really. Can I have it?
They can hear you. They're ignoring you, sir.
Maybe his helmet's too tight.
Works in behind the Swiss bench. Now played ahead by Malgin. Malgin works in, has room, shoots, and Lalonde makes the glove save.
All kinds of time for Malgin to come up around the top of the wheel and fire a slap shot that Kevin Lalonde is able to snare. The Swiss have the puck a lot here in the first couple of minutes of this period, and the real challenge for Belarus is going to be to get it and hold it. Don't just get it and give it away again.
A couple of years ago, the International Ice Hockey Federation inaugurated an award for players from smaller countries who distinguish themselves in international hockey. I mean, obviously, when you have superstars from Canada, Russia, Sweden, Finland, players get ignored. And it's named after Bibi Toriani, a great Swiss player from the past who worked his way through the upper ranks of the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation after his playing career was over. But so many players here, like an Anders Ambul, play so long and don't get the recognition because the team doesn't win many medals. The medal that Swiss won in 2013, they're only won since 1953. And a shot taken by Sharon Govic, turned away by Giannoni. Ruffinack knocks that down. You can see why the Swiss get in so many close games, though, Ray.
They don't push the issue much, and they defend pretty well. They've always been able to do that. They've generally had pretty good goaltending.
But an emerging nation in terms of providing National Hockey League players. Switzerland's done very well of late. Early on, the Swiss didn't do very well. Michel Reason was a first-round pick of Edmonton in the 90s, didn't pan out. And Lucas Serretta was a pick of Toronto. Had heart issues, actually, early in his career. And so teams shied away from Swiss players, but David Abisher came over in the early 2000s, really kicked the door open. A lot of goaltenders. Haas works in. Jonas Hiller, the backup today, as Stas plays it back. And now the shot taken by Loeffel, gloved by Lalonde. And now you've got Swiss players all over the place and playing starring roles. Nina Ryder of Minnesota, Roman Josi in Nashville.
A good drive to the net by Haas. He gets spun around. Lucky there's not a penalty there, and probably lucky there's not another one there as the giant Yavenko clips Vincent Praplin in front of the net. Praplin had 2 goals in just under 2 minutes yesterday against the French. He's got 4 points in the tournament.
At the line, chipped out by Kulikov. Battle at the Swiss line. Kulikov plays it. You saw Ambul trying to clear that and keep his stick down. There's a real difference between the NHL and the IIHF. In the NHL, if you're shooting or passing the puck and your stick follow through hits a player in the face, it's not a penalty. In the IIHF, it is. You saw Ambul careful there trying to clear it, so it's not take a penalty. You're not a fan of that call, though.
Not that one, no. I mean, if it's reckless, that's one thing. I don't think that's a penalty that needs to be called.
Look at Yavenko and Ambul. So Ambul's 5'9", Yavenko's 6'7".
Sometimes there's no way around you get near the biggest guy on the ice. There was a game, people said, what's some of the oddest stuff that's ever happened? I got a roughing penalty with Zdeno Chara. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. I was in Atlanta at the time, but he must have been batting me around like a tennis ball, and I must have slashed him. That's the only thing I can think of that might have happened.
Worked in now, Sergei Kostitsyn. Played back. There was a shot of Chara this year during a stoppage talking to Brad Marchand and Torrey Krug during a Boston power play. He's a foot taller than either of them. Kostitsyn long shot, and Sergei Kostitsyn turned away by Leonardo Giannone.
Deflected about 5 feet in front of the paint, and Giannone stays square enough to the puck to make the stop. He's looked pretty good today. You mentioned Gordy led the Swiss League with a .936 save percentage in the regular season. He also had a .949 save percentage in the playoffs. And so very good year for him, and he's jumped in front of Jonas Hiller as the starter 3 straight times for the Swiss.
There's a long tradition of good goaltending coming from Switzerland. Jacques Plante moved there when his career was over. Coached a lot of young players. And the Allaire brothers, Francois and Benoit, run a goaltending school there every summer. In all, 13 skaters from Switzerland and 3 goaltenders played in the NHL this season. Brought in now by Ruffinac, sends it back in front. That's blocked by Elizabeth. And that's flipped into the Belarus bench. There must be magnets back there.
Dave Lewis looking for something from his team. He's mentioned the need to develop skill, the need to get the players out of the old training methods. Last year, over 300 days they were in training for the national team.
Well, Ray, the KHL season just ended. St. Petersburg just won the KHL championship a couple weeks ago. Training camp opens in late June. They're in camp for 8 weeks.
Well, they play, teams play generally, or a bunch of teams play in friendly tournaments in July, and that's a lot of training.
You'd be great at the end of an 8-week camp.
Who would be? Who wants to be in camp for 8 weeks? Oh, good, we played 12 games and none of them count. This is great.
You used to grouse like week 2 of camp. You were already getting scored.
Well, the guys now have a cupcake of a training camp. They go in there for 3 days, get their pictures and their physicals, and then they start playing exhibition games. Way to grind it out.
Works in and shoots at the flex high and wide.
We were out there
2-a-days.
Us knuckleheads were out there 2-a-days. When they put the rule that you could only be on the ice for 4 hours a day, we thought that was a big break for us.
Belarus being called for putting the puck over the glass. Switzerland with the power play. We come back.
Une petite ola sur cette partie-là, d'accord? Où es-tu, Eric? Toi, vous savez Obélix, côté gauche.
Moi, j'ai Astérix. Voilà ce que je me pose. En fait, c'est pas parce qu'aujourd'hui on n'est pas très nombreux qu'on va pas mettre l'ambiance comme si on était 10, 15 000, 150 000 de gars qui n'exagèrent pas. Alors, ce qu'on va faire, si tu veux bien, c'est qu'on va faire la plus petite ola du monde. On va démarrer du côté des Suisses, peut-être parce que j'ai du sang suisse, moi. Et on va démarrer la ola avec Astérix. On va venir jusqu'à toi et tu nous la renvoies.
Voilà, absolument. Elle va venir de toi jusqu'à nous et après nous on te la renvoie.
Attention. Attention, celui, ça joue, ça joue. Allez, ça bouge, on se lève. Soyez pas feignants, ça va là-bas.
Allez, ça repart, c'est chez nous. Et après ça repart, on y va.
Patrick Fisher looking on. Former National Hockey League player, played 27 games for Phoenix in 06-07. Now the head coach of the national team. And Charles Linglet goes on for a delay of game. Putting the puck over the glass. Mentioned Linglet from Montreal, a 34-year-old who played this year for Berlin in the German league. Linglet, one of those guys who bumped around. He started the year in the KHL, then played in Finland, then finished in Germany.
À 27 minutes et 1 seconde, 2 minutes de pénalité. Au numéro 70 de Biélorussie, Linglet pour retard de jeu.
There's Evgeny Kavershyn.
2 minutes penalty number 17.
Scored a tying goal against the Finns in the third period of their opener. Boy, Belarus battled back in that game. Down 2-0. Scrapped and clawed.
They really played pretty well. I mean, even when they were down, they became more aggressive. They really took a lot of the zip away from the Finns. I thought they were going to get close to teams and really make it uncomfortable for them, and then they've given up 11 goals in the next 2 games against the Czechs and Canada.
Now the power play's over. Shapi, who has the power play goal, gets called for tripping Graborenko. And so it'll be 4-on-4.
There's the penalty. It's the stick across the waist, and down goes Graborenko, and down goes the Swiss power play.
So Ray, we had a conversation with an IIHF supervisor today about officiating standards. And you could look at that and say, you know, is that a hook or not? But they set the standard strictly, and then they stick to it.
Well, they said they talked to the coaches, and he said while the coaches grouse a little bit at the start of the tournament, they understand that they're going to call the rule book as it's written, and the reason they do that, they think, and I kind of tend to agree with them, it takes away gray area, it takes away questions. It might be tight, but it's tight for everybody. And what they've noticed is as the tournament gets deeper and deeper, the players don't commit as many fouls because it's in the front of their mind.
In comes Kostitsin, and Andre Kostitsin stopped there by Giannone.
Well, Giannone had to squeeze that one out. Kostitsin's going to rip this.
He always could heat it up.
Oh, and look at that, right between the left arm and body, and Giannone squeezing it away.
In Cologne, the New York Islanders lead Italy 3-0. Brock Nelson has 2, Anders Lee another. That's Team USA against Italy.
Yeah, we haven't seen them, of course, over at the other pool, but the U.S. has a much more NHL-laden team this year. Quick, young.
Energetic, very aggressive. Coach Jeff Blashill. Now battle for it in the corner. Cody Allman picks that free. Loeffel looks ahead for Hollenstein, and Hollenstein moves in on Lizavets. And Lizavets stays with him step for step. Here's Allman back with it. And behind the goal, 4-on-4 here midway through the second period. Lizavets to conversion. U.S. lost the bronze medal game last year to Russia, but Austin Matthews in the lineup. And the fact that Matthews went for Team USA was a boost for their group last year. We weren't sure if he'd go with his draft coming up. And if the United States starts getting top players to go, that's going to tilt the balance of power on this thing.
I hope they do. Better for the program, it's better for the event, and quite frankly, there's no reason for as many players to say no as they've had in the past.
Belarus playing at full strength.
There's a 3-second power play over for Belarus.
Teams are playing at full strength.
It does. Now play call with 10:44 to go here in the second period. Chappie's goal remains the only one in the game so far.
Giannone's had to make just 1 or 2 saves this period. Now Shappy has to take this hit because Damian Brunner was down in the corner. It was offside, and he couldn't go any slower back to the bench. If he would have skated, Shappy could have got the puck into the zone. As a result, he's got to take a pretty good lick. Thanks for that.
Thanks, teammate. Malgin slides that back, but the pass bounced away from Dean Kukan. Kukan played in Cleveland in the American League, the Columbus Farm Club this year. Played 8 games for the Blue Jackets a year ago. And won the Calder Cup with then Lake Erie in 2016. So he doesn't play a lot here for the Swiss. Surprisingly enough, the guy with NHL experience this season. Belarusian fans looking on. The Swiss, cowboy hats and cowbells everywhere. Not hard to figure out where they are. And many of them in cow costumes today.
I don't quite get the cow costume. Can you explain that?
Oh, they have a lot of cows in Switzerland, you know, chocolate, and that's kind of a thing. Simple.
Dressed like a chocolate bar.
It's harder to do. It's easier to dress like a cow than a chocolate bar. Look, go ask the Swiss people why they wear cow costumes. I don't know.
You seem to know. You got a lot of room in your cranium for this stuff that I don't know where you rattle it around, but you seem to have a lot of it stored away.
All I know is you eat a lot of Swiss chocolate.
I do.
You consume Swiss chocolate in large quantities.
I'm also enjoying the Paris chocolate.
And you also claim it's good for you, which is the most
dark chocolate is fine. If you can't get dark chocolate, then you eat milk chocolate.
No, that's not how it works.
But I have found a nice supply of dark chocolate.
Then comes Shappy, fires, arm save made by Lalande. The loose puck squirts just wide, poking out his almond, but Lalande turned him away. I couldn't find a banana, so I ate a donut. Is not an argument that works.
I'm able to eat chocolate. Some people shouldn't eat as much as I do.
In comes Haas now. Gave that Haas, look out. Into the inboards he goes. No penalty called in the play, and Haas is hot about it. As are the Swiss fans.
I will say, to finish this topic, my discipline food-wise this week has not been outstanding. I've also stumbled over a croissant.
Hard not to hear.
Oh, boy. Somebody asked me last night on a radio show what was my best meal. I said, well, the last one. We've had some pretty good ones here, too.
I've tried to order a bad bottle of wine, unsuccessful so far.
No, we've been well supplied as well.
Fired down to the Belarus zone. Icing call against the Swiss. A 1-0 lead, 8:32 to go. And here's a look at the play involving Shappy.
Shappy's shot is going to bounce off Cody Almond in front of the net, and the youngster Sharon Govich, just 18 years old, is standing right with him, and it's a good thing he's there, or else this is going to end up in the net. Sharon Govich helps knock it away, and then later on Haas gets pulled down here, or gets his feet clipped out and goes into the boards pretty heavily.
You think it's a trip?
Yes.
Brunner chips that down. In comes Brunner with it now, a rolling puck. Spins and shoots, and Lalande makes the save. Officials are evaluated as well for the tournament. They'll be whittled down to the medal round, which begins next week.
It's also a big deal for them to be here.
Right.
You know, they don't just get to show up and it's a rotation. They're evaluated to get in some of the smaller level tournaments to get to the World Championships.
And now you get evaluated here for the Olympics. And the top officials here will work the Pyeongchang Games next year in Korea. And with National Hockey League players not going, that means that all of the officials will come from the IIHF pool. Darren Dreger had to sit down with IIHF President René Fizel today. It does appear as though the ship has sailed on NHL players going to the next Olympics. Brunner plays it back to Bodenman. Ambuel skates around that pile. Pivots back in the corner. Ambuel feeds it down to Brunner. Back it goes to Kukan. Feeds it across. Here's Loeffel. Right on the line. Loeffel plays it back down to Brunner. Former Detroit Red Wing and New Jersey Devil. Flip back and played back in by Joel Ganazzi. Now a loose puck to the side of the goal. P.S. Suter in, shoot, the line makes the save. The rebound drops down. Kulikov plays it around. Conversion. Bumped there by Mulligan.
In a 1-0 game, there's not been one time that Belarus has held the puck like we just saw the Swiss do. They haven't cycled it, they haven't held it in the zone.
Lofo shoots it, gone through the traffic, and Suter fanned the loose puck. The land was knocked down. He wanted a goal interference call. Oh, a conversion slammed down by Fabrice Herzog. Walking in now, Lingland with a backhand shot, went off a skate in front. And now Giannoni's lost his goal stick. Malkin brings the puck ahead. And feeds it up for Shapi. Rito Shapi. He gets crunched down in the corner. Allman crisscrossing with him. Lingland back on it. And flipped back in by Diaz. Now Lingland steals it back. Goes rink wide to Yavenko. For Demkov. It's by Giannoni, and Diaz back to pick it up. Diaz flips that down to the Belarus zone. Belarus is 0-3. Switzerland 2 wins and a shootout loss. That puck goes over the glass. Penalty coming now to Belarus.
Encore une petite canne, notre panier qu'on vous avait encore montré, c'est évidemment un émoticam. Vous savez, ces petits codes, des émoticons qui sont de texto. Et bien écoutez, on en a tellement exclusivement pour vous. Regardez, ça va tourner, regardez, je vais vous mettre. Et ben voilà. Allez, qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire? Qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire? La surprise. Allez, maintenant, c'est à vous. Check it next week.
Allez, mesdames, messieurs, voilà, attention, attention, Bruno, c'est pour toi, tu vas faire la même chose, souris, vas-y, souris. Vas-y, regarde, ton campagne, il est super. Ah, voilà, ça fait longtemps qu'on a pas eu un monsieur à lunettes à l'écran. Alors, tire la langue, Super. Attention, next one. Pour les deux barbus. Ok, Blink.
The officials confirmed, and they have decided that Belarus will be called for delay of game as Mikhail Stefanovic put the puck over the glass. Now they say apparently he did not, so it'll be 5-on-5. Stefanovic made his way to the penalty box. They closed the door in his face. Nope, you're out.
That was good news. The one thing I'm watching here with Belarus is no wonder they don't have the puck. I talked earlier about how they want to just keep the game close. The Swiss come out of their zone and all 5 of them are back on the other side of center, on their own side of center. There's no puck pressure. There's no way that the Swiss ever feel threatened with the puck. Whoops.
Look out. Now Stefanovic plays that rink wide. Kostitsin can't get there. As Dean Kukan goes back. Stefanovic. For Owen Sound for a couple of years in the Ontario League. In the forecheck, and now brought up by Ramon Untersander. Proplan winds in a sharp angle shot, stopped by Lalande. Still loose. Proplan feeds it back at the point. Luffel works it and shoots off the glove of Lalande. Back down it goes to Hollenstein. Centers it. Ambuel shoots, scores! Ambuel takes advantage 1 time at home, and the Swiss have taken a 2-0 lead.
Andreas Ambuel's got his 3rd goal of the tournament. It's his 19th in 95 World Championship games. Lalande cannot handle this initial shot. It hits his glove, and Hollenstein gets behind the net, and a one-timer from about 30 feet from Ambuel is going to go up over Lalande into the middle of the net. And that's going to seem like 100 to Belarus right now, down 2-0. As Andreas Ambuel gets his 3rd of the tournament.
Ambuel spent 1 year in North America, played for Hartford of the American Hockey League. He was signed to an American League deal by the New York Rangers. Didn't work out for him, never got the call up from New York, and came back to Switzerland. He's the captain at HC Davos, which annually plays host to the Spengler Cup, a festival of hockey fondue and wine that we've never had a chance to partake in.
He works hard. I like the way he plays.
Draws, winds his way in, plays it across for conversion. Now conversion. Works it back in front. Save made by Giannone. And Elizabeth comes back for the loose puck. Menko tries to block it. And now Suter. Here's Suter brings it ahead. Pavlovich falls in the corner. Here's how long Andres Ambiel's been around. Remember the 03 World Junior Championship in Halifax? Played in it.
What is it, 16 years he's been a pro.
Yeah. Lead pass finds Suter. Working in, Pia Suter backhand shot. Milan gets a piece and knocks it wide. Two Swiss players fall. Stas brings it back the other way. Stas for Linglet. Back to Stas. Drops it back. Vorbe a shot. And Giannone makes a save.
Suter has a goal in the tournament. He's going to take a really nice break-in pass as he's found a seam on the far side, and his backhand actually slides wide, it looks like, of Lalande. The Swiss looking for a third one. They know these are points that they need to have.
Right. As we mentioned, they've got Canada, Finland, the Czechs to come. Right now, the Swiss find themselves in second place in the group with 6 points, but a bit misleading with their harder games to come. 2 groups of 8. The top 4 in each group go to the quarterfinals. The bottom team in each group is relegated. Right now, Belarus is in last spot in Group B, but again, Belarus has France, Slovenia, and Norway yet to come on the schedule.
Here's the goal by Ambiel. A shot not handled by Lalande, and Hollenstein gets to the rebound, and Ambiel is able to one-time it over top of Lalande.
Italy in last place on the other side right now with 1 point. And down 3-0 to the U.S. after 2 periods of play in Cologne. Play called offside at the Swiss line. Savannah was the 6th round pick of New Jersey in 2012. Did not come over to North America to play pro hockey. Has remained in Belarus. And there is Ambiel, the 33-year-old. 3-time Olympian for the Swiss as well.
6, 10, 14. Probably next time.
You have to think. If NHL players don't go, I mean, that, I think to say it, that probably helps his cause.
Even if they do go.
Yeah. Here's Andre Kostitsin working in on Winter Sander. Rolls back in that shot by Vorbe is blocking her chance down for the Swiss. Hollenstein drops it back. Praplan taken down, collides with Lalande, and a penalty or a penalty shot? Penalty.
That's just a penalty.
Praplan pleading his case from his keister.
When Andre Kostitsin goes around the back of the net and shovels it back towards the net.
Belarus number 55 tripping.
He's at the end of his shift. You can see him at the top of the screen. He just kind of bails on the play, and that leaves his team short-handed, basically. Praplan's going to take the pass from Hollenstein, and he's about ready to shoot it, and probably a pretty good penalty for Vorobei to take, and back to the power play go the Swiss.
À 38 minutes et 17 secondes, 2 minutes de pénalité, numéro 55 de Biélorussie, 20 la paye pour faire trébucher. 2 minutes
on the Swiss power play, Diaz to Brunner.
for tripping.
Drops it back, Diaz. Brunner winds and shoots the line. Save, Allman couldn't reach a rebound, and Stas has it back. Swiss have 6 points. We mentioned you probably need 10 to make the quarterfinal.
So here comes the problem.
Get 3 today if you can. There's 9.
La dernière minute de jeu dans la deuxième
scratch
période.
and
1
claw
minute left in the
do
seventh period.
something to get 1 point against Canada, the Czechs, and the Finns. Although I would say that they shouldn't be too scared against the Czechs and the Finns. They can play. It's whether you can get a point from it.
Diaz with it, plays it back. Brunner a long shot. Milan makes the save. Rebound drops down, and Juvenko clears it out.
It hit the very top of the glass, and that was going to be another penalty for Belarus.
Hunter Sander. Drops it back for Benacic. And now Conversion plays it around and back down the ice as time winds down here in the second period. Rufinat. Taken down by Juvenko. Time winds down here in the second period. There'll be 17 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third. Switzerland with a 2-0 lead after 2.
Les statistiques, vous avez bien sûr une idée avec ce second but dans la Suisse dans cette seconde période. Les tirs également en but qui sont.
That's right. Go sit the fuck down, you fucking bitch.
Shut the fuck up! You fucking waste of size! Shut the fucking piece of shit!
Statistics of the second period. 1 goal scored for Switzerland, so 2-0 for the moment. Shots on goal, 8 for Switzerland, 4 for Belarus. And face-off 1-15 against 10 for Belarus and 1 minutes. So Belarus has 4 minutes over 2 minutes. And what's happening back there in Colombia, Germany? 3-0 for the United States of America. Et vous êtes nombreux fans aujourd'hui à venir à l'Arena et à vous déguiser et vous maquiller. D'ailleurs, vous en avez même laissé un petit peu à Eric qui a décidé de garder en l'honneur des Suisses qui sont en train de mener 2-0 dans ce match. Et du coup, les caméras étaient partout tout à l'heure.
Oui, vous pensiez qu'il y a du centre à l'intérieur, c'est faux. On vous a épié à l'extérieur, finalement, pour aussi capter l'enthousiasme qui est le vôtre dès les premiers matchs de votre arrivée à l'Arena. Regardez, on a chanté tout ce qui se fait bien et on vous le retranscrit tout de suite sur les écrans géants en lumière.
In the big screens, maybe you were caught by cameras when you were entering the arena. Check out these guys.
Vous avez envie d'être là ce soir, vous êtes là ce soir, mais sachez que vous aurez l'opportunité de patienter quelques instants par le guide de la porte C. C'est pas la seule indication que vous donnez, le reste du guide peut aussi ouvrir par le guide. Est-ce que vous pouvez s'il te plaît, ce que tu peux faire super bien ce que tu es capable de faire, ouvrir la porte, de la porte. Donc on commande pardon, oui, parce qu'il est disponible. J'adore. Je vous officiel pour découvrir tout ce qu'il y a besoin de savoir sur ces championnats du monde, que ce soit en Allemagne ou en France. En tout cas, je comprends.
C'est quoi, je voulais la remonter parce qu'en fait, si vous n'avez pas vu, c'est tout à l'heure, moi je suis sympa, je suis sur une marche en dessous. Mais écoute, tu as été très sympa avec moi. Je vais me mettre à ta hauteur, tu proposes très bien sur le présentiel, que vous trouvez donc dans toutes les boutiques autour de l'Arena. If you want to have this little beautiful program for your souvenir at home, you can go in every official boutique with all the merchandise and products that you can buy. And also, if you have a ticket for tonight's game, you didn't tell me what it was. It's Finland versus Slovenia. You can buy them online or you can buy them also in all the boutiques. And
les championnats du monde sur son sol, mais pour la 7e fois, parce que je sais pas comment c'était la seconde, non, c'est la 7e fois. Les 2 premiers tournois que vous voyez qui ont été confiés se déroulèrent à Chamonix, et le premier, c'était toi, ça fait quelques années, même toi tu n'étais pas né, c'était à l'occasion des Jeux Olympiques. Pour le second, tu n'étais toujours pas né, mais les 2 derniers, remarquez, étaient en 1951, puis à Grenoble en 1968, tu avais déjà 12 ans. C'était dans le cadre des Jeux Olympiques d'hiver qui incluent pour la toute dernière fois ces championnats du monde.
Donc c'est comme en Jeux Olympiques, c'est effectivement la deuxième fois que du monde. Allez, let's do it! In 2017, France is participating in the 62nd World Championship since its first appearance in this international competition, which dates from the first World Tournament organized in Antwerp in Belgium in 1920. Note also that at that time the French team played a single game which lost to Sweden.
Vous l'avez entendu, c'est 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes.
Regarde, c'est le jour des enfants. Puisque je vous ai dit, nous sommes mercredi, it's Wednesday, of course. The kids don't have school and they're all with us. Say hello. Bonjour les enfants. À la mobilisation, ils ne sont pas là, alors moi je vais un petit peu faire le rôle. Comment ça va? Vous êtes pour quelle équipe alors? Ah, la Suisse, on est pour la Suisse. C'est toi, tu es pour qui? Pas les 2 équipes. Ah bah les 2 équipes comme ça, on ne fait pas de jaloux, voilà. Et bah c'est super bien. DJ, c'est tout, mettez un petit truc qui bouge qu'on entend sur la radio et puis comme ça on bouge ensemble. Ça va? J'ai perdu une vidéo. Qu'est-ce qu'on entend là? Qu'est-ce qu'on entend? Il y a la dance cam, regardez, il y a la dance cam. Dans les écrans, en région, on va mettre la dance cam, les filles et les garçons, on va danser ensemble. Est-ce qu'on est prêts?
Allez, dès que la caméra est sur vous, n'hésitez pas à bouger. Allez, bonjour, bonjour. Moi j'ai une copine pour la vidéo aussi, regarde.
Allez, jusqu'à 21 avant cette 3e période de ce match, et on est rejoint par plein. Okay, 1:30 for this 3rd period of today's game. 2-0 for Switzerland for the moment, but nothing is done. We have seen beginning of these championships completely crazy matches where some teams were in the lead and it's not over until the last minute. We still have 20 minutes of game to come.
Elle a raison de le dire, rien n'est fait, 2-0, mais pour autant, mesdames, messieurs, merci de faire du bruit pour accueillir sur la glace. À nouveau, merci d'applaudir les 2 équipes, s'il vous plaît. Allez, on est à 1 minute du coup d'envoi de cette petite victoire. Et encore ce moment pour les encourager pour faire du bruit, vivre passionnément ce moment unique de ces championnats du monde de hockey ici à Paris.
Back here in Paris at the World Hockey Championship on this Wednesday. Canada back in action tomorrow night against France, which has a couple of wins in the tournament. France beat the Finns for the first time in their history. Dumped the Swiss last night.
They're feeling pretty good last night about the way they came back to win. And Johan Aventu, their defenseman who scored a shorthanded goal last night and played this year in New Jersey, said our mix has to be the same as it was in the previous games. Even though they're playing Canada, they can't be scared. They've got to try to be physical. So we'll see if the French can at least push Canada a little bit, because it doesn't look like they're going to get pushed very much on this side.
The French players talking about the importance of beating Switzerland last night. It's a derby for them, a European expression for an arch rivalry. And a lot of the French players play in Switzerland. Hollenstein centers it. Lalonde makes a quick point-blank save there on Praplin. France did beat Canada in the 2014 World Championship, beat the Russians in 2013, so they've beaten Canada, Finland, and Russia in the last few years. Cristobal Huet made some big saves for them down the stretch, won in overtime last night. I always wonder, we see Philippe Bozon here, who's a French broadcaster who played 3 years in the NHL for St. Louis. How does a player come from France and get good enough to play in the NHL? Like, where do you?
My guess is when Philippe was a young player, he was a really good athlete. And so whatever shortcomings he had in the development of his game, because he was really athletic when he moved outside France to play, that he was able to make gains in a hurry. And I would always say that's the case to have your kids play multiple sports, is that as they mature into their teens, that you're able to pick up skills much more quickly than if you were a one-sport athlete. That, because there's, even for kids that play in Canada, if you have agility that is developed from other sports, I think it really helps you. And it doesn't have to be formalized, organized sports. It can be something that's done on a more fun basis.
Sienkiewicz fires that down. And Giannone plays it out. It looks as though Giannone is going to be the goaltender from here on out for the Swiss, barring some sort of mishap. And now Grabarenko skates by the puck. Played back at the point. Leffler winds in, shoots, and the line gets a piece of that. Pavlovich works it now for Belarus. Alexander Pavlovich gets bumped along the wall. Grabarenko centers it tip wide by Sharangovich. Belarus from the top group of the World Junior Championship for the 2016 tournament. Got relegated. They have not stuck around long, for the most part, at the World Junior. That's where the lack of depth shows up more when you're basically drawing from 2, maybe 3 birth years.
The age-out tournaments are tough. This way you get players that can play as they get older, and they can be a member of your team for 5, 6, 7 years.
Well, they've got players ranging in age here from 18 to 34.
It's really tough to turn over. Especially when you qualify, you probably have a bunch of 19-year-olds.
Right.
You get into the in the junior tournament, then the next year those guys are all aged out, and you just have nobody to replace them.
Kulikov plays it down for Stas, and Elizabeth can't knock it down. Now Stas goes for it. And Kulikov has it, trying to center it, knocked down by Kukan. Stas trying to dig it out. Here's an example where the rules change. Officials will not call the play here when you try to freeze it along the board. Remember that guys used to freeze the puck and get a face-off. Here comes a chance for Kukan. He fired it wide.
You'd be tired and just try and freeze it against the boards, and if a guy came up next to you and he'd lean on you, then they'd just blow the whistle. When you used to scrum for the puck, though, it was a free-for-all. Guys were kicking your feet and slashing the back of your calves. It was a tough place to try and freeze the puck. And if you ever fell, look out.
Sharp angle shot taken there by Hollenstein. And Conversion plays it out. Mikhail Grabovski not able to play for Belarus in this tournament. Really battling injury.
He's had concussion issues over the last couple of years. He didn't play at all really this year.
He'd rank as one of the greatest players from his country. Had a long and really productive at times National Hockey League career. Puck bounce off.
Signed a 5-year free agent contract along with Nikolai Kulemin with the Islanders, and then he has had concussion issues that have derailed his career.
Shots are 21-9 in favor of Switzerland as Cody Allman brings it out. Allman, former Kelowna Rocket, who's originally from Calgary, had that knocked away. And Yavenko brings it in. Oleg Yavenko shoots from a sharp angle. That just missed. And now Shappy brings it in. Renaud Shappy opened the scoring in this game on the power play for Switzerland. Peels back in the corner. Philippe Thurer plays for Lugano in the Swiss League. He was a Ranger pick. In a lot of cases, players, especially at that time in the early part of the 2000s, had to decide, take your chances on playing in the American League or stay in Switzerland and make more money. Ambuel works it in, centers it. The land is down, it's tapped wide by Bodenman. In a lot of cases, the Swiss players elected to stay home.
And when they come over, they'll maybe give it a go for a year.
Yeah.
And then try and evaluate where they are in the organization or what they feel about North American opportunity for them. And then in most cases, they don't play 2 years in the American League, they come back.
Well, as a lot of players will tell you, Ray, in those cases, though, it doesn't really matter what you think, it matters what they think. You might think you can play in the NHL, but if they don't.
Well, correct, of course, but I mean, you're not even going to give it a second year to force them to give you an opportunity.
Now Malgin works in. In comes Malgin with a chance, shoots off a leg and wide, bounces in behind the goal. Malgin, as mentioned, scored 6 goals in 47 games for Florida, spent 15 games in Springfield. That's it for Suter. Shukevich plays it out, and Prepland slides it back. Kuklan drops it back for Untersander. Another play called offside at the Belarus line. 2-0 Switzerland leads. Back to the World Hockey Championship in Paris after this.
Allez, mesdames, messieurs, ce qu'on a pu découvrir et célébrer celles et ceux qui se sont déguisés pour venir dans ces matchs les plus incroyables des supporters. Regardez, c'est maintenant.
Missed it earlier, Dave Lewis, the other members of the Belarus coaching staff are wearing green, red, and white ribbons on the lapels today. May the 9th, the anniversary of the end of the Second World War. As far as the Soviet Union, the Soviet bloc countries are concerned, the war ended late at night on May the 8th in Europe. It was already past midnight in Moscow, so May the 9th is their day. It's a solemn day. It was yesterday that the March of the Eternal Regiment was held in Russia. You and I had a chance to go to Normandy yesterday and see firsthand.
Astounding. As much as you think you might know from reading in a book, which is all I had read, the opportunity to go there was staggering. Really just unbelievable what those men did. Now, you've been before and I hadn't. It didn't really look at all like I thought it was going to be.
In comes Allman now. Cody Allman works in, a head fake, shoot, scores! Cody Allman puts that in the top shelf. That's 3-0 Switzerland.
Allman's second goal of the tournament, it's a beauty. I mean, he does not look uncertain about what he wants to do with his puck at all. And the play is turned over at the offensive line, and a strong play by Renaud Shappy to keep the puck alive. And Look at Ullman, he's looking past. One little head fake buys him another stride, and then he rifles this up over Kevin Lalonde's shoulder. Eyes always to the other side, trying to freeze the goaltender into thinking he's going to make a pass, and he's going to have to push with his left to his right. And then he rips it in the net, and even the Belarusian fans can look and say, wow, that's a beautiful goal. It's 3-0.
Cody Ullman was drafted by Minnesota after playing for Kelowna. 5th round pick. He played 25 games for them over a couple of years before finding his way to Switzerland.
Chappie, a power play goal and an assist.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gord.
We talked about elevator teams. You go up and down at the World Championship level. There's elevator players too, and Cody Ullman was one of them, just up and down with the Wild. 10 games in the American League, 3 games in the NHL. And now a penalty coming to the Swiss. An interference call will send Belarus to the power play with 11.5 to go here in the third period. Ambuel will go off.
Ambuel trips up the captain, Andre Stas. Belarus will try and get a couple of chances, see if they can get on the board here against Leonardo Giannoni, who has had a rather easy day. 9 saves here, 11.5 left in the third.
So Belarus is 0 for 2 tonight, Ray, but one of those power plays was 3 seconds long. Tough to get something going in 3 seconds.
It really is, but they have...
Unless you're a microwave oven.
Yeah, it's really, but it's something that's an issue for them here. I mean, they're 0 for 10, 0 for 9 if you take away the 3 seconder.
If you're going to fashion upsets, you're going to have to A, score on the power play, B, get some bounces, and C, get great goaltending, right?
Yeah, the goaltending's been fine.
Yeah.
But they just don't pressure offensively at all. And some of it is they're not quite quick enough to get where they need to be.
Andre Kostitsyn plays it back, takes the return pass from Korobov.
Just take this and shoot it. Make the move.
Bad save made by Giannoni. Rebound loose in front. Sergei Kostitsyn pokes that puck in front. The puck was handled by Führer, not necessarily easily, but he fired it down the ice.
Well, you see the one shot by Kostitsyn turns it into a little bit of chaos in front of the net. That's where you can find a rebound.
Still to come tonight in this building, Finland takes on Slovenia. In Cologne, Slovakia will play Germany. Chappie works in, shoots, that's blocked. Short-handed chance for the Swiss, and now Chappie has it back and plays it in deep. And Lalonde way out to play it. And Ullman shadowing him. Sienkiewicz works with Stefanovic runner in, shoots, that's blocked. Now sent down the ice by Bodenman. Conversion for Stefanovic. Stas plays that back, and Lizavets can't reach it. Most of these players from Belarus like Conversion and Lizavets play in the KHL for Dynamo Minsk. That's the bulk of their team. The rest play for Dynamo in the Belarusian league. As Haas comes in short-handed. Haas in, fires, put that high and wide. Now the penalty's over. 3-0 Switzerland leads past the midway point of the third period. Linglet winds in. Bouncing puck knocked down in front by Leffler. And did not see, where was he standing when he put that over? They're going to say he was outside the blue line. It's not a penalty.
Reto Chappie has a goal and an assist. The first goal's on the power play. Muscles inside a Kenkel, the defenseman on the rebound to put it away, and he actually almost scores in the second period on a chance that bounced around in front of the net after a save by Lalonde, and then a nice play to keep the puck alive for Cody Ullman. Ullman's wrister made it 3-0. Chappie's played 24 games in the World Championships. That was his third goal. He's got 2 in this tournament, just 1 in the first 20 games.
Another veteran of the Swedish national junior team program. The Swiss really struggled for a while in the early part of this decade. Really put a focus on youth development again and trying to get the young players playing in their domestic league. It was a real problem for them that their league was clogged with older players from other countries that were playing things out. And they want to get their young guys playing, and the results seem to be paying off. There's a lot of good young Swiss players coming now, and of course you see Nico Hischier, who's going to be a top 2 pick likely in the upcoming National Hockey League draft. He's a terrific player.
When we first saw him as a 16-year-old.
Almond bats at that, can't poke it home. Conversion.
And certainly has taken a step again here and will be at the very top of this June's draft.
Sergei Kostitsyn can't get a shot away. It's slammed down in the corner. Hischier plays for the Halifax Mooseheads in the Quebec Major Junior League. Now Lalande gets spilled. Venko didn't like that as Herzog slid into him. Now Suter a shot, and Lalande turns that away. Here's Malgin with it. Malgin winds in. Makes a move, gets poked at the last second. Now Suter with a chance, and Lalande makes the stop. Pavlovic. Across the line with Linglet, but the play is offside. TSN's coverage of the 2017 World Hockey Championship returns to Paris after this.
The official game attendance is presented by Event Time, the official department of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey League.
Mesdames, Messieurs, le nombre de spectateurs est présenté par les 20 teams, le partenaire officiel de la billetterie du événement IIHF 2017. Mesdames, Messieurs, cet après-midi, nous sommes 3212 supporters du hockey. Merci et bravo.
Kevin Lalande talking things over with his backup, Miguel Carnahuov, the 23-year-old who's played a couple of games for them here in this tournament. The U.S. has beaten Italy 3-0. Jimmy Howard with a shutout. Brock Nelson a couple of goals. So the United States moving up the standings now. With a record of 3 wins and 1 loss. The loss was in their opener to Germany.
Thomas Greiss had an outstanding night for the Germans on the opening night of the tournament.
Raucous crowds there in Cologne, which is where 2 quarters, both semis, the bronze and gold medal games will be played next week. Ambuel plays it across to Bodenman. Elizabeth picks up the bouncing puck. Belarus playing without defenseman Vladimir Denisov for the 2nd consecutive game, probably their top D-man.
An aggressive player, they've missed him, and again, we talk about the lack of depth. You take one of your top 2 defensemen out, and you can't expect someone to fill those minutes very easily.
Gaetan Haas spins back. Haas spins it back in front. Back goes to Kuka. If I was a Swiss chocolatier, I'd start working now because the tournament's there in 2020. You'll be eating bricks of it.
That's why the bakers haven't gone to bed here. They've been baking you bread since we showed up. Are we going to start critiquing each other's eating habits here?
Yes.
You don't want to get there.
In comes Javenko with it now.
The Miller menu consists of 4 items. Sometimes you get to a 5th item when you go crazy and order something out of your regular routine.
That's so untrue.
Oh no.
I had sole last night. Had salmon, sole, chicken, veal.
How's breakfast gone?
Same thing every day.
Same thing every day of all year.
I like the officials. I like consistency. Strict consistency. Kostitsyn centers it for his brother Sergei. Can't tap it home, and now Andre Kostitsyn back on it. Belarus back in action against France on Friday, and a quick shot there by Stas. Stopped by Giannone. Swiss will play Canada on Saturday.
Stas, who had a very good tournament last year, more of a struggle this year for him. Test Giannone with the wrister. Last year he was voted one of the top 3 players for Belarus at the end of the tournament, and a productive one.
Belarus has pulled some upsets over the years in international hockey, and of course you think about they beat the U.S. in the World Junior Championship in '05 in Grand Forks, and of course that famous quarterfinal win over Sweden in 2002 in Salt Lake City. 4.5 to go here in the 3rd period. That gentleman seems happy, sort of, ish. There's the bench for Sergei Kostitsyn. Poked up by Andre, tries to send it there for Kulikov, and Ambul has it back. Andres Ambul banks at it for Bodenman. Simon Bodenman. Plays it back. When Bodenman scored against Slovenia, you thought they're off to the races. He made it 4-0 in the 1st period. Andre Kostitsyn now with a chance, winding in. A wraparound try. Giannone turns that away. And Brunner chips that to the line and out. And then 1 goal for Slovenia in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and off to a shootout you go. Draws, try to draw a penalty there. Referee not buying. And now draws back with it. Falls again. Still not buying. Herzog slips. And now Linglet picks it back up for Belarus. To Drozd. Out to center ice. And out to play it is Giannone. Back for Malgin, who might not have been expecting that. Malgin works in. Hollenstein lost it. And Stas plays it across. Sienkiewicz out to center ice. In comes Demkov, Artem Demkov. Sharp angle shot knocked down by Haas. Long shot by Yavenko rolls wide. Vorobey with it. Here's Stas. Didn't see Grabarenko in a while for Belarus. The other big defenseman they have.
See him sitting at the end of the bench. Him and Yavenko are pretty tough to miss.
The hop Swiss chant going up here in Paris. Centering pass now. Conversion is shot. And the glove save made by Giannone.
I guess it'd be fair to say that Leonardo Giannone will be the goaltender when the Swiss play Canada. It's Andre Kostitsyn with a rush up the ice, and he's going to try and wrap this around. Giannone shuts it down on the backside. $14 saves for Giannone so far.
Les 2 dernières minutes de jeu dans la 3e période.
20 save shutout against Norway in his first appearance in the tournament after Jonas Hiller had started the opener against Slovenia. Rufinak centers it, and Lalande gloves that. 1:44 to go here in the third.
Allman's goal was the third today and put whatever hopes Belarus might have had at that time to bed. And the Swiss will have their 9th point of the tournament on 3 wins.
So, as we mentioned, they've got Canada, Finland, and the Czechs left. They probably need to get 1, maybe 2 more points to qualify for the quarters. Are there 2 points out there in those last 3 games against their toughest opponents? Shoot it, tips over the glass and out.
Well, I guess they've got 10 points.
So Belarus, meantime, their first thing is to avoid relegation. Don't finish last.
Oh, right. Yeah. 2 points for the win against Slovenia and 1 for the overtime.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
for the shootout loss.
There's a point in the table against Slovenia, going to overtime. And got 1 for the shootout loss. So really, those blown leads, they led twice against the French, led by 4 against Slovenia. And they're 3 points short of where they should be. Sienkiewicz centers it. And a quick shot taken there by Kogalev. Hit a leg and went wide. Final minute now, the third period. In comes Brunner now. Damien Brunner had that roll off his stick. And Luffel steps up for the Swiss. Grazie. Up for Suter. Wide pass, bounces off the end boards to Malkin. He missed it. And Stas has it back. Andre Stas winds in. 30 seconds to go in the period. He's poke checked there by Luffel. And Malkin picks it up. I can't do the pronunciation of Luffel justice the way the Swiss say it. It's hard to describe it. It's like a 4-syllable word.
You could try it. I got enough trouble with the Finnish coach coming up here.
It's who's coaching the Finns, right?
Lauri Marjamäki.
Oh, he landed that one.
Yes, right at the buzzer. I got it. I'm ready for game 2.
Still to come. The Finns and Slovenia. Switzerland wins this one by a final score of 3-0 as Giannoni posts the shutout on 14 saves as the Swiss got a much needed win.
Mesdames et messieurs, les meilleurs joueurs du match seront récompensés par la montre officielle du tournoi remise par Tissot, chronométreur officiel du championnat du monde IIHF 2017. Les montres seront remises par M. Marc Führer, président de la Fédération suisse de hockey sur glace, et M. Yaroslav Zahorodvi, le secrétaire général de la Fédération biélorusse de hockey sur glace. Le meilleur joueur pour l'équipe de Biélorussie, the best player for Belarus, le numéro 70, Charles Linglet. Le meilleur joueur pour l'équipe de Suisse, the best player for Switzerland, le numéro 63, 63, Leonardo Ginoni. Merci de bien vouloir vous lever pour l'hymne national de la Suisse. Please rise for the national anthem of Switzerland.
Absolument, on était extrêmement heureux de passer cet après-midi avec vous. Si jamais, par bonheur, vous êtes encore avec nous ce soir, n'oubliez pas que c'est la porte C qui vous faut emporter pour patienter le temps que l'on allonge cette arena pour le deuxième match de ce soir, c'est notre national.
If you have a ticket for Finland, Slovenia tonight at 8:15, you have to go door C. Letter C. Letter C. See you very soon, and I think that we should maybe do a recap of the rankings.
Voilà, c'est exactement ça. On va un coup d'œil sur le classement après cette victoire suisse. Et vous le voyez, il y a un combat de chef entre la Suisse et le Canada. Et le Canada qui va jouer, puisque demain, enfin, vous avez bien compris ce que je voulais dire. Il nous reste...
Demain soir, 20h.
Je te laisse le faire, c'est très bien. Merci. On vous souhaite un bon retour si jamais vous rentrez dans vos pénales respectives. Pour les autres, on se retrouve pour le deuxième match de ce soir. Merci.
Joined by Reto Shapi. Now you guys are sitting at second place in Group B with this victory today. How important was it to pick up points against a lesser opponent to set you guys up for success?
Yeah, it was a huge game for us, and we knew we had to get 3 points tonight, so we have a good chance to make the quarters, and that's what we did.
Your goal came on the power play. How much were you able to capitalize off of the time and space that they were allowing you?
Yeah, we were trying to simplify our power play, and I think we did a good job of that. And they didn't give us a lot, but we finally could make a goal on the power play.
That was your second goal of the tournament. Do you feel that this group is growing with confidence with each performance that you put on?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of guys that get a lot of confidence, and a lot of guys that play their first championship, and I think we're on a good way.
2 games within the span of 24 hours. Now, finally, the reward comes. You get 2 days off. Have you had a chance to explore the city yet? What do you think?
Yeah, just a little bit. Looking forward for next 2 days to go downtown and see this nice city.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.